Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to LCI Cloud Guardians. It's a free cyber and cloud security community, and our motto is to train, to certify, and defend the digital world. About us, LCI Cloud Guardians is a global cybersecurity learning community under Lexilate Integrity Systems Limited, focused on hands-on, ethical and practical cybersecurity and cloud security training. Our programs are designed to help learners build real-world defensive cybersecurity skills needed to secure modern digital systems, network, and cloud environments. LCI Cloud Guardians delivers structured online cybersecurity training and certification programs that prepare learners to defend against evolving cyber attacks. The community welcomes beginners, students, tech enthusiasts, career switchers, future cybersecurity professionals. How that some of us here are actually going to be learning cybersecurity for the first time. Some of us here are new to tech. Some of us here just have passion and we are yet to figure out what exactly we want. So everyone is welcome, regardless of where you are. Either you are in intermediate, you are still basic, or you are yet to find your feet, you are welcome. And those of us that already have one or two knowledge, we are also welcome. We are welcome to your contributions. We are welcome to receive that you want to share with us. And some of us that are already in tech, but we want to switch. Okay, maybe some of us are doing DSA before, and we feel like, okay, let me learn something new in cybersecurity. We are all welcome. Our vision is to build a global community of cybersecurity professionals equipped with practical skills to defend digital infrastructure, cloud systems, and modern technology environments. We aim to bridge the cybersecurity skills gap. We aim to empower learners with industry relevant security knowledge. We aim to promote ethical cybersecurity practice worldwide. We aim to develop the next generation of cloud and cyber defenders. Our mission is to equip beginners, like rightly said, students and career switchers with real-world defensive cybersecurity skills through free and community-driven learning initiatives. We achieve this by delivering structured cybersecurity training programs, focusing on practical, hands-on cybersecurity learning, teaching ethical and defensive security practice, building a global learning community for cyber defense. Our training approach is built on three pillars. First, which is focused on practical cybersecurity skills, from fundamentals to advanced practices, and reflecting real-world cybersecurity challenges. Thank you. So, we will be introducing our facilitator for today, our beautiful, pretty Miss Favour Aliezi. She's going to be our first facilitator. As you can see, she's pretty. So her name is Prettyfavour Aliezi. She's an ethical hacking and cybersecurity instructor with over 2 years of experience across organizations. She's skilled in Linux, Python, Bash, SQL. In this skill, her focus is actually protecting data, mitigating risks, and promoting security awareness. She's open to collaborations, she's open to consultations to help create a safer digital world. So she's open to collaborations and consultations from us. So we are going to be giving her the platform now. So she's going to be testing her microphone and to cross check. We still have 4 minutes before 10. Yes, 2 minutes. Sorry, I'm just checking the time. We still have 2 minutes before it's 10 o'clock. So we'll give Miss Favour the remaining 2 minutes for her to prepare herself. So while we wait for her, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for trusting us, and thank you for walking this journey with us. Please, I want us to be attentive. I want us to pay attention. I want us to have to prepare our hearts, because this is just the beginning of an 8 week journey. It is the beginning of greatness. It is the beginning of learning new things, and I hope that we'll find this worthy. So, and it is important. Let me share this with us. It is important that we stay to the very end, because our attendance is very, very compulsory. Very, very compulsory. Okay, yes, I joined in the beginning, and I'm trying to while away time while Miss Favour take the space. I joined in the beginning, something happened without a very, very reasonable excuse why you leave in the middle of the class. Excuses will not be welcomed. our attendance from the beginning to the end is very, very important. While we are here, there is somebody at the back end marking our attendance.
Hello, please, can everybody hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, we can hear you now without
Okay,
noise.
please. Okay,
You are
thank you.
welcome, ma'am.
All right, so good morning. So my name is Prettyfavour Aliezi. I'm a cybersecurity and ethical hacking instructor, and I'll be training you guys today on. I'll be having an introduction to cybersecurity, and then we'll also get to do some little practicals where we'll get to install a VirtualBox, and then we'll also get to install an operating system inside the VirtualBox. That's to show you how you can actually be in a virtual environment to do whatsoever that you want. And then I also show you how to also harden your Linux operating system and also how to harden your Windows operating system. Are we good? Can we start?
Yes,
Please
ma'am, we
confirm.
can.
Okay, please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to speak about here is actually cyber ethics. So I'll first get to explain what cybersecurity is all about. So when we talk about cybersecurity, we're literally talking about the ethic. We're literally talking about the online space. Being able to secure a lot of things on the online space. Take for example, there are different types of security. When you talk about security, you're simply talking about staying safe, protecting yourself from unauthorized access, from attacks. Do you understand? Let's take for example now when you talk about the physical life. When you build a house, most of the times you always want to like fence the house, put a gate, right? Even in your houses, you put a door, you put windows. On the windows, sometimes you put irons. I think they're called burglaries, right? Why? Because you're trying to protect from someone trying to break in or maybe someone entering your house through your window. True or false?
True.
Okay. Now, even inside that your house, you still put doors. Your room has a door. Your toilet has a door. Even your kitchen has a door. Why are we doing all of this? For security. So that even if someone gets into the parlor, okay, you're inside the room, you're actually protected inside the room. Do you understand? And then next thing now, when we talk about another aspect of security, we talk about the spiritual life. Okay, you go to church, you go to the mosque, or you go to any place of your worship, right? And then sometimes some persons do fastings, some persons do midnight prayers and the rest. That's for spiritual security. Like they would always say, the spiritual controls the physical. But now when we talk about this online space, aside this physical and the spiritual that we all know, right? The online space needs security because it's almost like saying it's a whole world on its own. Do you understand? And the fact that this online space is actually growing, there are a lot of things there that we need to protect. Assets are being stored in the online space. Take for example, if the bank shuts down now, you can't access your money anymore. You understand? Like if the bank's banking system entirely shuts down now, you can't access your money anymore. All those money you're seeing is just numbers. It's crazy, right? So now in this online space, this is why the thought of cybersecurity had to come into place. Why? Because we need to protect ourselves, we need to safeguard ourselves, we need to know what and what not to, so that not everybody literally has access to you. Of course, it's not everybody that knows your house. For security reasons, even you don't even let people know your house. Yes, in case you're having issues outside, at least your house should be like your safe space. Do you understand? Now let's go. When we talk about cyber ethics and responsible use, being a cybersecurity expert is like having a superpower. There are some code of honor we need to follow. There are rules and regulations in this cyberspace. In as much as there are also rules and regulations in the physical space and the spiritual space, there are also rules in the cybersecurity space. So talk about the golden rule, which says never hack, pick at, or change anything that doesn't belong to you without permission. Take for example, I want to do a system hack. I don't necessarily need your password. Okay, let me tell you a quick story. I still remember when I started my cybersecurity journey, right? I was in a general class. I was actually having random classes, like not just cybersecurity. It's more like saying, um, first 1 hour we are learning cybersecurity, second hour we are learning another topic, like another sphere in tech, right? About three topics. There are three spheres we're actually being exposed to. Then you pick after a month, you get to pick which one you feel you want to delve into. I was literally being a student there, and There was this day I came to class. I was literally very tired because yes, I had assignments to do. My place was really very far from the training hub. So getting home, I feel tired already. I try to sleep, wake up at 10 in the night. I'm trying to do my assignment, which takes me longer, and then shut down, sleep just very few hours, wake up again. And of course, because my place is far, I need to leave way earlier so I can meet up. I got to class that day, and guess what? I was sleeping. My classmate actually made a video of me sleeping. And the next thing she was like, she was gonna make a post and tag me. And I was like, why would you want to do that? And then she was not like I have to pay her. She was literally acting like, oh, can you hear me? So she was literally acting like a physical hacker, right? So now this is what happened. This is what happened. I begged her to like, please don't post this video. You're going to ruin my reputation online and all of that. And she was like, I should make payments. I should pay her or I should buy her lunch. And I was like, I don't have this money you feel I have and all of that. Okay, going back and forth, begging and begging. And she was like, I'm giving you the last chance. I'm going downstairs to go buy this. If I come back and you don't send it to me, I'm going to, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And I was like, okay. And guess what she did? Her PC didn't initially have a password. What she did was she used her phone taking the picture, the video of me, right? She sent it to her PC, and guess what she did? She set up a strong password to her, a very super strong password. And she just shut down her system and went downstairs to go buy lunch. And guess what I did? I used a flash drive, which was already made bootable, and I just had to plug into her system. The moment I plugged into her system, good thing her hard drive was not even encrypted, right? So I was able to access her files. And guess what? I took my time accessing all of her files. And I got to find where she actually kept that video. And guess what I did? I deleted it. After deleting it, shut down, took out my flash, closed her PC back. When she came back and she kept again with her ranting, I'm going to post this video, Prettyfavour. And I was like, at this point, I'm tired. Just do anything you want to do. And she was like, you're not going to beg me anymore. Oh, it seems you're not having guts. I was like, okay, my sorry is expensive at this point, so do your worst. And she was like, okay, I'm going to post it now. We'll see who will cry. I was like, okay. And guess what? She opened her system, searching and searching. She couldn't find it. And she was like, what happened? What did you do to my PC? But I set up a password. She checked her system, if maybe there was no trace of anything. There was no trace of anything on her system. But at that point, what happened? She couldn't find that file, right? So what we just did there was we broke the golden rule. I actually changed something on her system. So I literally changed something on her system that doesn't belong to me, and I didn't take permission. She actually reported me to our trainer. She actually reported me to our trainer, right? And then it was quite a funny scenario because he was like, "Why did you do this, Prettyfavour? Why you're not supposed to do this? Remember what we first said, rules and regulation. You're an ethical hacker. You have to do this. You don't have to do that. We have rules governing us because this is now termed illegal. This is that." And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, but I was just trying to do self-defense. I was trying to protect myself and my image. She was quite angry with me, didn't talk to me for like a month. I started reconciled it, and then we just had to be adults about it. So you see, I got to break the good news, which is not actually right. So in cybersecurity, right, you don't hack. Hacking simply means gaining unauthorized access to somebody's PC without their permission. It is very wrong. That's why we call you have the different types of hackers, right? The three types of hackers: black, white, and gray. White are the good guys; they hack with permission. Gray are the middle guys, like what we call them middle guys. They don't necessarily need your permission. Just like take for example, you apply for a job now, you don't get the job. Between a white and a black and a gray hat now, a white hat could apply for a job, they don't get the job, they're like, oh, feel sad, and what do they do? Just move on to another company to apply, right? Good. But a gray hat now, he applies to you, you don't actually give him the job. What does he do next? He's pissed, he's paid, and the next thing he's trying to do now is he's trying to like do a test on you. He's trying to find vulnerabilities on your page, on your app, on your site. Do you understand? And the next thing he finds vulnerabilities, he emails it to you and tells you, see how vulnerable you are, can this. Are you going to make this also payment? Let me fix this for you. And then now you be at his call now. You literally be the one texting or trying to mail him back and be like, oh my god, how what's it gonna cost for you to fix this for us? They're not your full-time staff. Unlike an ethical hacker, they're actually your full-time staff trying to look out for maybe if hackers are trying to get in, alert, monitor, and all of that, right? So this is what the gray guys do. And then we'll talk about the black hats, right? Black hat hackers. These are the bad guys. They don't care about you. You're not their concern. They just want to get their money, do their stuff for fame or fun, and they're out. So you get it now. This is why you never hack. It's actually very wrong. And even when you're in the black hat, right, they always try to go anonymous, because if they're ever found, what happens? They get to face jail. So the golden rule says never hack, never pick at, or don't change anything that doesn't belong to you without permission. It's just like you hopping on my system when I'm not on seats, right? That's why one security stay safe rule will always say, even if you're going to go to the restroom or you're going to go to the kitchen, lock your PC. Never leave your PC open unattended to. Do you understand? Because you're actually opening it and making yourself more vulnerable. Someone could come in, probably take a file from your PC, or probably someone could just come in on your system and probably maybe they could connect it to their network so that they could be on the same network with you to like sniff your data, right? Or probably they could actually install an application to monitor it, like a spyware or maybe any of the malware, malicious software. So it's crazy. This is why you should never, ever, ever. Now, the next law says we have laws like the CFA, which is the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, right? So this is actually a US law that actually makes it illegal. So you cannot actually enter somebody else's system without an invite. Just like saying, I don't know if any of you have come across TeamViewer. So TeamViewer actually works like a remote access. I could actually share my code with you on TeamViewer, and when you use my code, you can actually like have access to literally do anything on my system. Maybe send a mail. It's just like you having my system on your end. We don't necessarily have to be together. Do you understand? You can be in Canada, and then I send you my TeamViewer code, and you're able to access my system, see all of my files, even see a movie, do whatsoever on my system, and that's it. So this CFAA, right, is actually a US law. It makes it a crime to access computers or networks without permission. So you can see it like breaking into somebody's house, but this time around you're using a computer, like I said, using a team viewer which gives remote access to somebody's PC, right? You cannot hack into someone's system. You're not allowed to spread malwares. It could be virus, worms, whichever of them, right? Whether through a flash drive or through a mail or through a normal WhatsApp clicking link. You're not supposed to do that, either for stealing data or even accessing somebody's info. Maybe you're not doing it, you're just trying to search my files, you want to see my documents, you want to see my pictures or my videos on my phone. It's very wrong. CFA actually is actually against that. And the next thing we have here, responsible use. So you always have to report bugs, holes in security to the owners instead of using them for mischief. Take for example, you actually go to somebody's house, you find out that their door is bad. You don't just keep quiet and be like, oh, their door is bad and all of that, right? All you just have to do rather is you just have to use you just have to report to the owner and tell them, oh, I think this your door is bad, so that they can actually fix it. That's what ethical hacking is all about. That's what the white hat hacking is all about. Do you understand? Sorry, am I clear? Am I too fast?
You are clear, ma'am. But I don't know if you can reduce your speed a little bit because of the
Okay,
network. Thank you very much.
okay. Now when we talk about understanding cybersecurity domains, cyber different neighborhoods. So cybersecurity is just like saying medicine. Under medicine, we have the gynecologists, that's the female concerned doctors. They're not necessarily females, like they're in charge of the female system, right? And the next thing, we also have the eye doctors, teeth doctors, nose doctors, skin doctors, and all of that. There are several fields under the medicine rule, right? Even under your law, there are several fields under law. Do you understand? Same way too in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is like an umbrella shielding a lot of neighborhoods. So we have network security, we have data security, we have application security, endpoint security, identity management. There are several. You also have the penetration testing and ethical hacking. There are several neighborhoods or domains under the cybersecurity. Now, when we talk about the network security, we're talking about building walls and gates around the city. Talk about things like having a firewall, like a protection. It's just like going for a party now. if you're not invited to that party, what happens? You get to see bouncers, right? You send in, you don't have an invite card to prove that, okay, you're supposed to be at this party. And what happened? They send you back, isn't it? That's literally how what we mean. Building walls and gates around the city. Your network is actually like the first phase of attack. If you're always hopping on free Wi-Fi's, you don't even have any single protection on your end, you're literally just making yourself naked on the network, on the internet. And literally anybody can have access to you. This is very crazy, right? So now, building the walls and gates around the city. Of course, like I said, physical security. Your fenced house, your doors in the house, your windows, the gates, they're all for your security. So even though your network security, you're supposed to set up firewalls. This will actually protect you to a long extent. Next thing we have here is the application security. Application security really talks about making sure the individual house applications like your Instagram, your Facebook, your Zoom app, whichever app you're using, they have strong locks, right? Strong locks on your Instagram accounts. Talk about setting up, connecting your email, right? Connecting a phone number, connecting your email, connecting your phone number. The next thing we also get to talk about is connecting it to an authenticator app. That's like you setting up an MFA, which means multi-factor authentication. It's just like saying, I can give you my password now to any of my email, but guess what? You can't still have access to my email because if you put in the password, you ask you for a passkey. Maybe it could be maybe my face ID, it needs my face ID, or it's going to send me a code to my WhatsApp, right? Or to my email, which I have to like impute, or send me a code as a text, which I have to impute, and then it sends me a mail to my, it sends a code to my email, sends to my phone number, and also I have to use an authenticator app to get a code there before my password can work. So you get to see that that's multi-factor authentication. Then if you're going to work with two-factor authentication for security still, that's like saying just the email and the phone number, whereby they have to send a code to my email and also send a code to my phone number, which I have to impute before I can have access to it, to my application. This is actually very good because it keeps you safe to a large extent. Next thing we have is the endpoint security, protecting your devices that people use. Now, on your system, there are certain things you need to do and certain things you don't need to do, right? We'll talk about that towards the end. Let me show you. For endpoint security, that's what we'll talk about security hardening. Yes, talk about the Windows security hardening. And also we get to talk about the Linux security hardening. This is for Windows. This is for Linux rather. Yes, for Ubuntu. Yes, Linux security. We're going to talk about that. So this is like you setting up hardenings on your system in order to protect you, right? You're setting up systems to protect you, setting up just like sometimes there are certain pieces that if you plug in a flash drive, you don't have access to it. You have to give that flash drive access to do certain things, right? And then sometimes there are some pieces that actually have things like quarantine boxes, just like saying an antivirus, right? Whereby you plug anything into that system, this antivirus actually scans it. But the downside of antivirus is that antiviruses are just applications, they're softwares that literally, they're softwares that are actually programmed, right? Their software is programmed. Their software actually programmed, right, to imitate the behaviors of viruses. Take for example, a virus is actually a cat. It catwalks stylishly, right? If I want to create an antivirus now for that, all I simply have to do now is create a software that if a cat is coming, if it notices any movement like a stylish walk, what's going to do that is going to block it. Now let me come to the computer system. An antivirus now could be programmed that, oh, any file that comes in .xyz, .jkl, .kmn, do not let it in. These are viruses. But now what if I also create a virus that actually comes in .abc? My antivirus will actually let it in. Why? Because it's only looking out for .xyz, jkl, and kmn, like I earlier mentioned, right? So those are the little downsides of antivirus. That's why if you're going to use an antivirus, please go for a paid antivirus. At least there's a little assurance there, rather than just going for free things. Free things purge a lot. Not every free thing actually works for you or gives you the best. Now talk about identity management. This simply means checking the IDs of everyone trying to enter. Yes, in organizations, this is why you see in most organizations they get to put this little post that says um, non not authorized to non-workers or non-staff. Meaning, even if you're coming in, right, you have to start the reception. You cannot just barge into anybody's office except they actually let you in, except you actually have a card that lets you in, right? That's for identity management. Trying to know who has access and who does not have access. Verifying people before you let them. You don't just let anybody just come in. Just like your house. Not everybody you actually share your home address to, right? And that's why you don't also go outside online to go and post your home address. If you have an location, you go look for an event place and have that there, and that's it. So there are different types of attacks. Several types of attacks. We have the phishing, we have the malware, we have the ransomware, we have the MITM. I'll show you this MITM, a little practical about this MITM so you get to see. So talk about phishing. Phishing is just like sending fake emails or text that tries to trick you into giving away your password. So this is it. You receive a mail now from your bank, right? And you probably feel it's your bank asking you to log in. Maybe they tell you that you're supposed to update your account, or maybe they need a particular data. And the next thing you're doing, you're actually clicking on that link on the mail because you see, let's say your bank name is Access Bank, and you're not really sure of their email, if it's maybe Access Bank support or accessbank.ng or accessbank.com, right? And maybe your real bank name is actually accessbank.com, and then you get a mail which says accessbank.ng, right? Like Nigerians. And then you see it and you're like, oh, you just don't know, you're not even sure, you don't even verify this, and you're like, okay, it's my bank. Okay, I need to log in, put in my password in order for me to get my account statement, or in order for me to do this or for me to do that. And what do? The moment you click on that link, sometimes a malware downloads at the background of that PC into your device. You don't know, it fishes you, gets data, scans you, spying on you, reporting every information on your device to the hacker, to the sender, right? Or sometimes it could be you clicking on a link and maybe you feel you're trying to update your account. Maybe there are certain information they need, right? And then you're like, okay, you see name, you're filling your name, maiden name, you're filling your mother's maiden name, address, you're filling your address, your phone number, you're filling it, your this. You're literally giving all of your bio data to that hacker free of charge, which is very crazy. That's why for every email you get, you try have to always verify. Always verify. And for every link, not every link you see, you just go and click. You see an email, you don't know the sender, you're opening the email. Why? Or you get an email, you don't even know the sender. Okay, you're opening it and you're seeing an attachment and you're clicking on it. Why? Maybe if you have time after this class, right, you can actually go check out the cybersecurity documentary movie, which actually explains this phishing, whereby it was a banking sector, right? Of course, job openings, but this was not actually a job applicant. A hackers, set of hackers, right? Lazarus Group. They actually sent mails to this bank with an attachment. Of course, the HR felt maybe yes, it was an email like CV. So maybe you're looking for a job. She clicked on it, opened it. Unknown to her, that attachment she clicked and downloaded into the PC had a backdoor. Backdoor simply means it created a loophole on that PC, which was used for by the hacker to communicate with that PC. And over time, it took them a while. Guess what? Just with that, just one click, that one attachment she got to download into the PC. They were able to gain access. And guess what? They almost stole almost a billion. It was around $81 million they took from the bank. It was crazy. It was after the incident has been done. Guess what? That's when the bank even realized that, oh, we've been fished. Money gone. It was crazy. $1 billion heist. That's me. Maybe you can check it after now. And then we have malware. So when we talk about malware, we simply mean malicious software. Malware is like the acronym, like NIC for it. So it's like a digital fluid that makes your computer sick or steals your files. When we talk about malicious software, we're talking about your viruses, your worms. Your viruses could come into your system and they're literally waiting for human intervention, maybe for you to click on them, maybe for you to like maybe turn on your data, or they're just waiting for one action from you. Do you understand? You waking on them is like you sleep waking up a sleeping lion. What happens? Each one could even eat you upright. Exactly what a worm will do. But worms are more crazy because if a worm gets into your PC, it does not even want you to click on it or even your data or anything. It gets into your system and it replicates itself. Just like as soon as it gets into your system, that's when labor starts. It gives back to a lot of itself. And what happens? Everybody on deck, all hands on deck. You go to the kitchen, you go to the back door, you go to the garage, you go to the toilet, you go to the visitors room, you go to the store, you go upstairs, you go here, you go to room A, you go to room B. Everybody, all hands on deck. And what are they doing? Phishing you, taking your files, spying on you, taking charge of everything, and getting root access to your PC. Eventually get to kick you out. Crazy, right? And then we have several types of malicious softwares. We have the Trojan horse, you have the rootkit, you have the spyware, you have the adware. Spyware comes in to spy on you. Adware through your ads. Not every ad you must click on. There are several types of malicious softwares. So that's why you literally have to be very careful, super careful. Next, we also have is a ransomware. Ransomware is actually a type of malware, but this time around, the ransomware is actually a villain. Locks your computer and demands money. Let me show you an example. A ransomware locks your computer and demands money. That's a ransom to give you the key back. So this is what it basically do. It gets on your system. It could actually lock several folders on your system and you can't access these folders. Just like putting up a security for you. But it's not, you don't even have the lock to that, the keys to that lock set up for you. Right? At that point, what do you have to do? Then you see a pop-up asking you to pay a certain amount of money and you give you a limited time. It's not like they're giving you like forever, go make up the money. No. If you don't, they'll just try wipe everything gone, destroy everything. Imagine losing your files. Let me show you an example of what we mean. So I'm going to open this site. It actually shows up examples of what some malwares can look like. Okay. So this is it. I'm going to F11. I want to make this big. So this is what's actually, imagine your system. I really wanted to make this big though. So this is how it could be like. Imagine turning on your system and the next thing you're seeing is bad news, your files have been encrypted. And you're like, all your computer data, imagine all your computer data, photos, videos, work files, including your operating system that's led to your Windows or Linux, whichever operating system you use, even if it's your Mac, right, has been encrypted and can be accessed again if you pay a ransom. Just like someone locking your door, your gate, the gate of your house, and tell you to make payment before you can come in. That's crazy. You can't access anything on this machine but the screen. And guess what? You have just 1 hour to pay the price. See the timer is ticking. You have just 1 hour to pay the price. Otherwise, you'll no longer be able to decrypt them. Firing off or restarting your computer will also destroy your files. So if you think maybe, no, this is not happening right now, let me restart my PC. You can't restart the PC and, oh, that's really a very bad thing to do because you're using everything. Just go ahead and just reinstall and say bye to your old files, right? Now, what can you do? Now, see, they're even offering you solution. You might be looking for a way to recover your files, but don't waste your time. We use an unbreakable encryption. Nobody can restore your files without a decryption key. You can purchase the key using one of the payment methods. So see, They're asking you to make payments of how much? $399. When you make this payment, you get a key, and then you paste the key here, and then just click decrypt. And see, they're giving you methods. Sometimes they use crypto. There are several methods you can use to make payment. They say you can use Monopoly money, or you can use PayPrick, or you can also pay with your kidney. That's creepy, right? See, and time is ticking. Hurry, your files will be permanently deleted in 58 minutes. This is a prank site that actually shows you, gives you an experience of what some malwares can literally look like. See, so you got to make payments. See the address they're giving you. See, so you shouldn't be worried. Your files are safe and you don't need to pay anything. You're just a prank. It's a prank site, like I mentioned. So that's what a ransomware can literally look like. It's usually more scary. Imagine when you're not able to access your files, your videos, your pictures. You're having a work presentation, and then you get there on stage in front of the board, and then you're trying to turn on your PC and you're seeing bad news, your files have been encrypted, you need to make a payment. What English word do you want us to explain? Now we have the MITM, which is the man in the middle, right? It's just like man in the middle between girl A and girl B. Somebody's in between, if dropping every conversation going on between the two of them. Now, see, like someone is dropping on your secret tin can telephone line and changing the message before it reaches your friend. Take, for example, there are two friends in an office space, right? Okay, let me get a name, one of your names. So, okay, I'm going to use Ibironke and myself. Okay, now I think I saw I need a male name. Okay, let's say Ibironke and Samuel now are working in ABC company, right? They start working, they're texting each other, and nobody literally knows that they're texting each other. They're on the same network. Nobody knows that they're texting each other. Keep going, and then maybe one day Sammy is like, "Hi, Ibironke, what's your weekend going to look like? Do you mind if we probably have a hangout on a Saturday? Do you mind if we have a hangout on a Saturday?" And Bianca is like, okay, no problem. So what's it going to be like? Samuel is like, let's go out on Saturday by 12 o'clock at a play park, right? Said, okay, send this message to Ibironke. But unfortunately, guess what? The message that Ibironke gets is actually, let's go to church on Sunday morning by 9 o'clock. Saturday comes, Samuel gets to the play park. He gets there like 11:40, 11:50. Of course, as a gentleman, going there ahead of time. And he's waiting and he's like, sorry, Q, can we close this one? Sorry, a minute. Okay, so Samuel gets there and then he's literally waiting for Ibironke. No calls, no text. 12:05, and he's like, oh, did something come up? Let me call her to know where she is. Maybe she's stuck in traffic, or maybe she had an emergency and she wants to reschedule the time. He calls her and Ivy is like, hi Sam, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. How are you? How's everything? Everything is going very well. And the next thing, um, where have you reached? Like, are you on your way? Is there any problem? And Ivy's like, any problem like how? What do you mean? And Sam is like, maybe we're supposed to meet today. Are you forgetting? Ivy's like, no, you said we'll meet tomorrow in church. And Sam is like, no, I said today we're meeting today at the play park by 12. And it's already after 12. You're not here. Ivy is now almost full stop because she's almost getting pissed because, are you playing with me? You said something and now you're changing it. Right? Um, they don't want to have they don't want to have any argument because the mood is a bit changed. And Sam is like, I'm sorry, so where exactly are you? I can meet you up at the junction. I need to let me show you, let me prove to you, and you get tell you that okay, this is what I actually sent to you, and they get to meet up. I even get to see from Sam's phone that, oh, she actually texted me play back on Saturday by 12. See the message I got. She also shows her own message too to him, and she's like, see the message I got, church on Sunday. And they're both like, what happened? Because they were the same network in the office, and there was also a hacker on that network also because they're using free Wi-Fi at the office. And then the hacker has been sniffing and monitoring every conversation. And what does this hacker do? Because he's sniffing and hearing every conversation, he's literally modifying anyone he has access to. So you see, it's crazy. Let me show you a simple man in the middle attack. I'm going to use it too. I'm going to do a sniffing. So I'm going to do this now so you see. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to select this because this is my wireless network, right? So if I select this, it's on. Now you can see this is actually a network sniffing tool. It's literally taking track of everything on my network. That's why if I'm going to ever give somebody my system, I'm just going to set this up because I want to sniff and capture all data packets. I want to see everything the person did on my system. Let me know what person logged on and what person did not log on, and how I can actually like, oh, see that, oh, this person actually visited a vulnerable site. What if something was downloaded, and then I can check my system and probably try to secure my system better for myself. That's why I would never also want to share my PC with just anybody. Okay, so this is it. It's sniffing on my network. Everything happening on my network. Every application on my system using my network. It's getting evidence. It's just like it's getting copies of everything happening on the network. The incoming, outgoing data packets, it's having copies here. Now, while this is on, I'll just minimize it and I'll come here. I'm going to visit a vulnerable site, which is called VulnWeb. And okay, you can see test websites. It's actually a free website actually for practicing ethical hacking, right? Because of course, ethical hacking, you can't just break into somebody's system or just do anything on somebody's system. So you can try most of these attacks, see how they work, so you can know how to protect better using these websites. So I'm going to click on these websites. You can see the website already tells you not secure. Your connection to this site is not private. Information you submit could be viewed by others, like your password, your messages, your credit card. It can be viewed. This is why you should be very careful. That's why we don't work with HTTP sites, right? We work with HTTPS. S secure. That's the encryption. Okay. Now this is open. I'm going to click on login. I'm going to put a name here, and I think I'm going to set a very strong password. So let's say I'm going to use admin Samuel, right? And then for password, I'll try setting a very strong password. See, very strong password. Remember, strong password starts from 8 upwards, right? Very strong password. This is more than 8 digits. So I'm going to click login and don't save. So you can even log in your Facebook or Twitter. This is why they said not secure. So you literally have to be very careful. So now while this is on, I'm going to come back to my Wireshark. Opening this very big. I'm going to turn it off now. The next thing I'm going to do now, apply a display filter. I'm going to type HTTP. Right to the HTTP site I actually clicked on. So now, why is getting every information? Get means to collect. And when it collects, it stores this information it collects from your network. So everything happening on my network, it collects a piece of it and then it stores it under an information called posts. Just like your antenatal, postnatal, after delivery, right? So you can see all of this HTTP get. Now I'm going to just keep scrolling till I find posts. Okay, you can see this is post. Select post, and then I come down here under HTML form URL encoded. So you see my strong password. So now imagine if I'm on a public Wi-Fi, like if I'm on a public Wi-Fi, right? And me being on a public Wi-Fi, I'm actually getting to exchange things with somebody and I'm not having any firewall to protect me, I'm not having any antivirus to protect me, I'm not having any security software to protect me, like to shield me to a large extent, right? This is how my files will just be exposed on the network. And if there's a hacker on that network, the hacker can literally just do this and see that, oh, this is the username and login she's even using safe. Let me log into and see what this girl is doing on this page. No privacy anymore. They're breaking the golden rule of cybersecurity. So you see, I'm just going to close this now and let's move on. Critical saving place. And I'm going to close this also. Close this also. Come back here. Manage the middle. Like someone is dropping on your secret SIM card telephone line and changing the message before it reaches your friend. Meaning you could actually you drop your child in school and then you don't know when the closing time is. School is over. Your child uses the telephone to text you and be like, Mom, please come pick me up. I just closed from school. But the message you're getting is, Mom, I'll be closing. Let's say the child closes by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But the message you're getting is, Mom, I'll be closing by 5 p.m. You can come pick me by 5 p.m. Of course, you go by 5 p.m. and your child is already tired, already angry. Mommy, look at the time you're coming. And you're like, you said that you come by 5. And the child is like, no, I didn't say you come by 5. I told you around 2 when you close, you should come pick me up. You're like, no, you guys are not having an argument. And until you check and have evidence to prove that, okay, this is not it, this is not it, and this is it. You can ruin friendships, you can ruin a lot. Now, we'll talk about virtualization. So, virtualization is like saying, I know you guys have probably come across dual boot, right? Dual boot whereby on my system I could have Windows and I could have maybe any Linux distribution. When I talk about Linux distribution, so aside your Windows and your Mac, there's another operating system called the Linux. The Linux is actually what is powering your Android, right? And it has a lot of flavors. So here we don't say versions like your Windows where you have Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 10 Pro, 11. No, we call it versions and distributions or flavors, right? I like to go with flavors. So Linux actually has a lot of flavors. You have the Parrot Linux, you have the Kali Linux, you have the Ubuntu Linux, you have several types of Linux, right? So now imagine a situation whereby you're actually using Windows and Linux. If you want to use when you're turning on your system, the system gets to show you which one do you want to log in, Windows or Linux. If you choose Windows, it's only Windows that is on. If you now want to use Linux, you have to shut down the Windows before you can go to Linux. No, that's a lot of stress. We don't do that. So basically, what we do here is on virtualization, you want to access an operating system, another operating system, right? I want to have a computer inside my main computer. Like I want to run 2 computers, 2 operating systems at the same time on one hardware. All I simply have to do now is I have to use a software called a virtual machine, a VirtualBox, right? And actually installing the operating system inside, and I can actually access the two of them at the same time without shutting anyone down. It's just like saying, my Firefox is on, and then the tool I used before now, the Wireshark I opened, right, is also on. I'm using the two of them at the same time. Do you understand? That's how it's going to be using your main operating system and using another operating system at the same time without having any issues. And this is actually very beautiful for cybersecurity because you can actually do testings inside there. Let's say there's a malware you're trying to check out, you're trying to build a malware or anything. Instead of actually going to meet your friend, please can I use your system to test this thing if it's working? Or can I? We don't beg, we don't do that. You just set up your virtual machine, test and run anything there. If anything, if you're ever hacked inside the virtual machine or anything happens or escalates, it's just within that virtual machine because that's a box. Do you understand? That's a box. It can't get into the main system. It's just inside there. Though it depends on the magnitude of that hack, of that virus. So now see, virtualization is like having a computer inside your computer. It's just like a kangaroo where you get to see the baby, I think on the stomach where it hops, right? So it creates a virtual machine that acts like a real laptop. You're running 2 operating systems at the same time. So cybersecurity professionals use this. Why? One, for safety. If you accidentally download a virus in a virtual machine, right, it can't escape to your real computer. It's just inside there. It can't go out. It's stuck inside there. Next one says for reset. If you break something, just click reset and it's like nothing happened. Let's say you did the wrong command and oh, the operating system is now scattered, everything is now like upside down. You can just shut down that operating system inside there. It's not affecting. It's not like you ruined you did control F, control destroy or your whole operating system, your whole laptop. No, just into that box, small box. I'll get to set it up, so we'll get to see how it works. Now, testing. So in cybersecurity, right? In hacking, whether you're a defender or you're an attacker, defender meaning you're blue, you're trying to protect, you're trying to look out for loopholes, you're trying to see, okay, oh, there's an alert, somebody's trying to break in here. Oh, there's suspicious movements on this system, on this software, right? You're trying to monitor all of these logs, reports vulnerabilities, or if you're actually being an attacker, like maybe you're imitating how hackers do, not necessarily for bad intentions, right? You can actually do that inside this your virtual machine so that you don't go and be practicing like a hacker and then ruin or spoil something on your main system, right? Just do everything inside this virtual machine, the virtual box. So you can practice being a defender or an attacker in a safe private playground, and this is called the virtual box. So far, does anybody have a question on what we just did before we move into the practical of what we just talked about?
Hello, ma'am. Please, ma'am, you can continue. We will attend to all questions after the session. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, okay, so about this virtual box I just talked about, right? I'm going to install it on my system. Let me first show you. So you see that, okay, I don't actually have it. You can see here, I don't have any virtual box here. So I'm literally going to install this virtual box. So we'll see how it works. The only thing here on this system is just this main operating system. Like, okay, wait, let me show you. I was trying to set up something else. Okay, so you can see this is all that is on this system, that is open on this system. It's just one operating system here. So we're going to install this now. I'll literally just have to come to, I'll just go type virtualbox.org. So here is it. Download, accept and download, save. Linux distribution. I'm actually using a Parrot Linux, so I'm going to actually use an Ubuntu Linux on my system inside the VirtualBox. That's me having to. So the next thing I'm going to do is so install package. I'm just going to install it. Meanwhile, while this is installing, right, the Ubuntu we're going to be using, I'll show you how to install Ubuntu. So I'll hop onto my browser and I'll type ubuntu.com. I'll quickly come over here. Sorry, I think this is, no, let's try to, let's just keep it down here. So I'll click on download Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is actually a flavor, one of the flavors of Linux. Just like you have the 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, 10 Pro, 11. So I'll just click on download and it's going to download. But I'm already downloading one. I'm not going to continue this one. I'm already downloading one for the course of the class. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, so I'm gonna close this now. My VirtualBox should be, yep, this is my VirtualBox. This is my VirtualBox. I'm going to put the operating system inside here. Few minutes, this is going to be done soon. This is going to be done soon. Okay, let's head on. This is me closing here and closing here. Okay. So I'm coming to that. Let's just give few minutes for this and move on with the rest. I'll come back to it definitely. So now when we talk about we're talking about the practical session now. How do we want to do this whole stay safe, setting up MFA? Like I said, multi-factor authentication setup. So the secret password recipe. If you're going to actually use a password, it's always this password here is not even safe. This is very wrong, right? This is very wrong. If you've ever noticed why creating passwords, if you've ever noticed why you're trying to create password online for online accounts, it always gets to give you passwords like let me see if I can create an account quickly. Okay, let me try to create an account quickly so we'll set it up together. I'm going to create an account for this class. This is March. Today is 7th, I think. Sorry. Yeah, today is 7th. Of course, I'm not going to put 2000. I'm going to put 19. Let's say 1995. Setting up with mail. Who's all this? Okay, so this is supposed to set up a password for me. Suggest strong password. Now see, use a securely generated password. Do you see what the password looks like? So this is basically how we are actually supposed to create password. Uppercase, lowercase, numbers, symbols. You can see GT here is actually capital letter. You can see 3 symbols here. Then you see uppercase again. You see lowercase. There's a capital letter and small letter. There's a number here, but there's supposed to be more than one number. So the idea is there's something called the dictionary attack. Dictionary attack whereby let me just show you. Dictionary attack whereby if I use Prettyfavour, let's say I use Prettyfavour 123 as a password, and the hacker is trying to break in to see if he can try my password or guess my password right. Guess what? He might actually use my name because okay, he has gotten some information about me. He might use my name and it works good for him, right? But a situation whereby I don't get to use my name, let's say I use something like church 123 with some other numbers, right? He goes through the dictionary. There's something called a word list which has a lot of English words, broken passwords, people's passwords before now, right? He checks through there, and if my password is seen inside there, what happens? He quickly unlocks it. Let me show you what I mean. word list. This is what I'm actually getting into. And then this is what I want to. So I'm going to just decrypt this so we can see. These are other word lists. They actually carry passwords. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to decrypt that hyphen D for decrypt. And I'm literally going to come here, paste. Okay, sorry, it's supposed to be sudo. Now if I do ls, you can see it's no longer red. I've opened it, it's no longer locked. So situation whereby it's actually locked, you can't access it. That's why it's showing you red here like that. Now see, these other ones are actually also okay. Let me open this SQL map txt. SQL map .txt. These are actually commands on Linux. Commands are run. So see people's password before now. These are hacked passwords. Linux gets to save them so that in case you're actually trying out a password attack or whatsoever, you can actually use this password. This is why they always tell you don't use English word for your passwords. So you see, these are easily guessed. These are words in dictionary. See, people's name. You can use name dictionaries too, and they will easily fish your password. But with a password like this one I'm creating on my Gmail now, you can't. Like, it's not like you can't. Even if you even create passwords, right? It's actually advised that periodically, maybe every 3 months, every 6 months, change this password because if a hacker is actually trying to get into your account, trying to get your password right, he's been trying and trying and trying. Situation whereby he gets to 50%, he has gotten 50% of your password. Now the next thing you just have to do, he will probably be like, okay, let me continue. But now when you now change your password after 3 months, you change everything now. That his 50% now is rubbish because he has to start afresh. And sometimes they may not be die-hard hackers. Like they could be trying, maybe just testing something, and oh, this one is not working. I beg. They just leave it. But the situation whereby they're actually going to keep up. You also have to keep up on your own end as a security person, as a security specialist, even as an end user. Changing your password periodically because you need to stay safe. You don't want people to just have access to you. Because if they have access to you, you never can tell what they're going to do. They impersonate you, or they go post your files, your information, private data online, which is not nice. Or they start trying to extort money from you. Ransom. Pay me so I will not post your picture, just like what I told you my friend did to me, right? Crazy. So see. But you see one thing I like about this RockU, the one I actually decrypted. RockU actually has over 14 million. Let me show you. Okay.txt. Check out. Over 14 million passwords. Over 14 million hacked passwords before now. This is why you must always create strong passwords. Using just numbers is not safe. Numbers and small letters is not safe. Just symbols is not safe. Look at, if you see this password, by right, this password is supposed to be, oh, by right, this password is supposed to be strong. You can see this. At least there's a capital letter, even if it's wrong, there's a symbol. There are numbers, just one numbers though. It's lowercase also, but then it's still not. So the best thing is use words that do not amount to anything, that do not make up anything. That's why you see the suggested password. Do you want to pronounce GT? It doesn't give you, just like IS is. It doesn't give you anything. VWHC. How do you want to pronounce that? It doesn't give you any word, any good sentence, or even a phrase or anything. No. It's just scattered letters, right? With number and symbols. That's the best way. Even if with this password self, I have to periodically be changing my password if I really want to stay safe. So you see that, okay, let's look through this rocky.txt password. See some strong passwords. See strong password numbers. Some persons were so funny that they even had to use emails. Using long letters doesn't even mean anything. See people's password. See. cheapest password. Passwords are actually plenty and plenty and plenty. So, okay, so that's for that. I'm just going to go on now with our VirtualBox. The download is complete. So coming back to this VirtualBox now, I'll click on new. What's my virtual machine's name? I'll just leave it as Linux. Now my ISO file, like the Ubuntu I just downloaded, downloads. This is it, and I'm selecting it. So you see every other thing takes itself. Now next. Which password am I going to use? I'm just going to use something simple. Hello 123. That's actually a very big password, but it's just for the case of this class. So move on. Now it's asking me, this system is actually a 32 gig RAM, right? How many gig do I want to use? I'll just leave it at okay, let's say I use 3 gig, and then 24 CPUs. How many do I want to use? I want to use two CPUs. Yes, I want to use two CPUs. And of course, this system has a disk of 2 terabytes. I'll just leave it at 25 gig. So you mustn't use more than half 25 gig, and I'm going to next and finish. Oh no, don't tell me this is so the KVM, you compare your Kenya and reboot. So this is a little a minute, I'm getting the command for that.
Hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to I want to get the commands to actually set that up, because there's an error message there. Okay, nice. Okay, yeah. A minute, please. KVM. going to do this quickly. Okay. Underscore intro. Okay. Okay, good. So sorry, I just have to use this command to take off that error message. So this is my Ubuntu now coming up. So this is actually the Ubuntu operating system, and this is my main Windows, main Parrot Linux. So now it depends on, I want to open a browser here. So this is me actually opening a different tab inside my Ubuntu. I can decide to, maybe if I want to check out YouTube or I want to browse whatsoever, I can be practicing anything, download any malware here, testing it out, testing whatever. Maybe you're trying to send me a phishing link. I'm testing the phishing link here, or maybe I'm trying to create my own phishing link, creating everything here, or what, anything that happens inside this virtual box dies inside the virtual box. It does not escalate to my main system. Do you understand? Now, do you guys understand how the virtual box works? This is like me having an operating system inside here. I can literally use any operating system. It mustn't be Ubuntu. I can decide to use even Windows inside the virtual box, or I can decide to use any other Linux distribution, maybe the Kali Linux, or even if I want to use another Parrot Linux inside here, I can. Do you understand? And I can literally do whatsoever. I'm not limited. Let me show you the applications on the Ubuntu. So these are my applications. It's loading up. Stop now. Show apps. So these are my applications: calendar, camera, I want to take pictures, clock, my updates, Gpacket. This is like a tool that actually lets you format flash drives or see what's going on drives. Videos, calculator, image viewer, documents, language support, settings. So Linux actually has its own, instead of using a Microsoft 360 that comes with, instead of doing a Microsoft 360 that comes with, instead of doing a Microsoft 360, right, that comes with your Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and the rest. Linux actually has its own. You have the LibreCalc, which is like your Excel sheet, LibreDraw, which is like your Corel Draw, Impress is like your PowerPoint. Math is like your Microsoft Access. There are lots and lots. Microsoft LibreOffice is your Word. So you see, and these are the remaining applications. Text editor, and the sweet part, you can also install new tools here. You can actually install new tools or new applications here and do whatsoever. Okay, I think I'm seeing questions here. But let me finish up. I'll come over to questions, please. Okay. I'm coming back to your questions. So I think I'll just close this. So now see, power off this machine. I want to power off. I want to shut it down. Whatever I'm doing dies inside there. And if I like, I can also delete this. All I just have to do is say remove this virtual machine from the machine list. And if I click remove, it's gone. Anything I ever did inside there is gone. Dead and gone, right? So now I will just close this. During question time, I'll come back to it. Okay. So that's for password. I talked about the password thing where I had to create this account. Let me just do a save. I'll probably just change the data. I'm going to use this. Verify some info before creating with your phone. And follow most steps on the phone to complete verifications. I'll do this later. Okay, so now setting up a multi-factor authentication. This is you having a double lock. No, this is not you having a double lock. This is you having a triple lock, because there's something called 2FA. 2FA is multi-factor. That is you using an email and also using your phone number, right? Whereby before you access your account, aside putting the password, they send you a code to authorize, like to verify that okay, it is really you, the owner, that is trying to log in here. They'll send a code to your email, and the code they will also send to your phone number is actually different from the one they send to your email. So you have to input these codes, right? But now when we talk about MFA, we're talking about more steps. Aside your password, aside the email code, the phone number code, you also get to use authentication applications, right? Where you copy the codes there to put. And then sometimes too, some devices use passkeys. Passkeys, maybe you have to use a face ID, or maybe they have to send you a code on another app, right, for you to verify. It happens a lot. So now the first thing you need to do is you enter your password. When you enter your password, you get a code on your phone or use a thumbprint, right? This is for your MFA. And then the third action now is for you to go to your Google or Discord settings and turn on two-step verification. So you can, I really wish this account was set up. So you can actually set up MFA, probably connecting an app, just like for most of your Google apps, right? For most of your Google apps, you use, if you're using a Gmail app, sometimes Google apps connect to each other, whereby you're trying to log in your Gmail app and then you're sending a code to your YouTube for you to really verify that, okay, this is you. Or maybe if you have one or two devices, right, you can actually send a code to the next device, authorizing that, okay, does this code tally? Is it the same code here and there? Just for you to like, okay, yes, this is it, and then you click on it. So on your account, you can always go to settings, right? Under security settings. I want to show you. My account is not opening. So you can always go to settings, and then when you go to settings, under security, you can see the 2FA. You can set it on whereby you put in your email, put in your phone number, and then you can also try logging out to test it to be sure that, okay, this is actually working. Now, when we talk about security hardening, we simply means making, yes, okay. So, like I said, you put your password, and then you get to set up a code connected to your email, your phone number, also to your authenticator app, right? You can use the Microsoft Authenticator app, or you can also use the Google Authenticator app. There are several others which you can use, but these two are actually most trusted. They actually, you connect the account to it, and then it gives you code on, I think, 30 seconds. So you literally have to be very fast. You paste the code, after which you've gotten your email code and your phone code. That's until then, that's when the password works. That's for multi-factor authentication. Do you understand? I was saying, if you want to set up the MFA on your account, right, you just have to go to settings. Under settings, you get to see two factors. Sometimes you get to see multi-factor, or sometimes you get to add a recovery email. It's actually very right to actually add a recovery email and a recovery phone number to your account. Why? So that if there are any fraudulent activity or any login of that account on any device, any new device, right, you also get a notification for it. That's like you keeping track of movements on your accounts. So the next thing we have here is security hardening basics. So when we talk about hardening, we simply mean trying to make a system tougher to break into. Do you understand? You just don't want anybody to just have access to your system. Now, the first thing here says on your Windows, you can always turn on your Windows Defender firewall. So this Windows Defender firewall is a carry come antivirus on your Windows operating system, right? So it helps you turn on, it helps keeps you safe to a large extent. Since you don't, maybe your product key is not actually original, it's actually a broken or any fake one. It's not like you actually bought the operating system, right? You just did a cracked version. Yes, you need to turn on your Windows Defender firewall, which acts as like antivirus, so that in case you impute anything on your system or any strange thing creeps or gets into your system, it always give you warnings. It always try to shield you, like blocking it. Next thing, also try to disable the auto run on your USB devices, like meaning any flash drive that gets into your PC, or whether card or flash drive or hard drive, or it will not until you give it access. So now you're in charge of everything. So that now you can easily trace that, okay, ever since this girl's flash drive entered my system has been misbehaving. I'm not sure this her flash drive had malware, or it had this, or it had that. Do you understand? And then please, if there are any apps you're not using on your system, phone or any gadget at all, as far as you know that this application you're not using it, let it not store space. Take it off, because you never can tell. Sometimes an application could be compromised, right? Based on you don't always get to update your systems regularly, which is very wrong. From time to time, you should always update your system. So imagine a situation whereby you don't update your apps, and then a malware gets into that application. Because the application is on your device, what happens? You also get a share of the cake. You also be a victim. That's how crazy it can be. Now for Linux, we talk about using the least privilege rule. Now don't do everything as the root. As in, you saw what I did using sudo, super user do. That's what the sudo simply means, right? So now it's saying that if there's anything I want to do on my Linux, if anything you want to do on your Linux, it's not right for every command you want to do, you do sudo. Every command you do sudo. Sudo this, sudo that, sudo this, sudo that. No. It is a spyware on that system. That spyware is going to actually sniff on that password. Do you understand? Because you're always doing sudo, you're always increasing your password. Don't always do everything with sudo, because when you're doing sudo, just like say you're coming out administratively, you're coming out on your own. Do you understand? Which is not supposed to be. Hackers' intentions are always to get the roots. They always want to be the roots, the admin of that PC. So if you're always doing admin, sometimes there are certain things you want to do on your system. What you just simply have to do is use a different account, maybe a guest account. Always save your admin account. You don't, when you're on your admin account, you don't have to use admin account and be accessing several files or several applications, because you never can tell who you're giving access to or what you're actually downloading into that system. And the moment they gain administrative privileges or root privileges, it's over for you. Now let's talk about this Linux operating system I mentioned. I said we have the Windows, we have the Linux, and we have your macOS, right? So now Windows is actually a Unix-based operating system, right? It actually gives you security to a large extent, yes. Whereby Linux is actually very beautiful in the sense that it's a bit different from your from your Windows rather. On Linux, you don't have the Microsoft 360 apps there, 365 app there. You actually have Linux own files. where you have the LibreOffice, Calc, Impress. I think I showed you guys on the Ubuntu, right? And it's actually like the best operating system that hackers love to use. And on Linux, Linux is not all about GUI. Like on your Windows, anything you're literally doing, you want. I know there's a command prompt on Windows, but trust me, 70 to 80% of Windows users do not even use that command prompt. But on your Linux, most of the things you have to do will be from your terminal. Look at it. Most of the things you have to do is from your terminal. Just like saying I want to find that file, the word list I opened earlier where I got to show you the passwords. Now imagine, what do I have to do if I want to look for that file now? Will I start coming here now and be like, okay, I have to look for USR, see, then come here, USR share, then the next thing was word lists. Coming here to find word list. This is it, right? And then the rocky I opened. So see, is this what I'm going to start doing? We try. See. But my terminal, I actually do everything swiftly, right? See. On Linux, if you want to get full control, you have to use the terminal. So Linux is the favorite operating system of hackers and defenders because it gives you total control. Yes, it gives you more powers, especially when you use the terminal. There's nothing you cannot do on Linux. There are several tools on Linux. Let me show you. So this is what Linux applications look like. You see this announce of it's like you having a local VPN on your system. Cryptography tools, as you can see, there are 5 cryptography tools here. And what is cryptography tools? They help you encrypt to lock. Do you understand? Changing your normal passwords to non-human readable forms. Locking your file, just like having a text file now, and then you encrypt that text file. Even if someone tries to open it, they are seeing jargon, scattered letters and numbers. It's not even amounting or equaling to anything reasonable because that file is encrypted. We have the metadata cleaner. You have the secure file cleaner. See the Microsoft Office, but this is for Linux. You have Writer, which is your Microsoft Word, Math, which is like your Calc, Impress is your PowerPoint, CorelDRAW, see the rest. Image viewer, that's your document viewer. It also has a dictionary. Now see for the internet, Linux actually gives you a Chrome, gives you Firefox, you have the Onion Share, you also have the Tor browser, which is an anonymous browser, right? And then if you're into graphics and you're using a Linux, see, you have the image too. This creates image and edit photographs for you, just like your CorelDRAW, Photoshop apps. And then of course you see your own Linux own CorelDRAW app here too. You can see column selection. Then also, let's say you want to use a CD to watch a movie. Brasero is here for you. Or you want to copy a file to your presentation to a CD. You can do that easily. Cheese is a camera, your webcam. MPV4 player, or you want to use VLC, or you want to fix your sound, or maybe you want to do a screen record. Like I can record everything on my system now without using the Zoom recorder. I'll just have to use my vocal screen. Simple. Of course, Linux comes with a game. That's a chess game. And then now this is our most arsenal, our toolkit on Linux. Now you see why hackers love Linux. I know the sweet part. You can also install extra tools. Maybe there's a tool you were watching on a tutorial that they used for this, they used for that. You can also install it here. So see, several tools here. See the Wireshark I used earlier. Information gathering tools. See the children. They have several tools. The network scanners you want to do. See, 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 see. Several tools. Vulnerability analysis, several tools. Web application analysis, tools. There are several tools. Then these ones also. See, 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 see. There's something about this particular tool. See how long it is. See these ones. Payload generators, social engineering. You want to manipulate human beings. Web applications. Maintaining access, maybe you've hacked your inside your victim system. See, see, see. Post exploitation. There are several tools. Linux gives you a lot of tools for whatsoever you want to do. Is it a wireless? You want to do this sniffing, or you want to do is it Bluetooth sniffing? Which other wireless attack do you want to do or sniffing do you want to do? Look at them. Now, sniffing or spoofing. You see tools, extra tools for man in the middle attack. You can see them. Digital forensics. See your digital forensics too. See. Automotive. See them. Reverse engineering. Linux has it covered. Reporting tools. The tools here are not even complete. Linux, the recent Parrot Linux, Parrot 7.1 actually has an AI tool that helps you automate penetration tests and do a lot of finding vulnerability. Life is beautiful with Linux. You can't do all of this on Windows, trust me. So you see, are you a programmer? Your VS Code is here, your PowerShell is here, your Genie is here. Tell me, which one do you want? System tools, see your rest and rest. See the VirtualBox we installed. Use your root terminal that says you don't have to use your root terminal, right? Because you don't want to give everybody admin privileges. So you see. Now we have system. These are extra tools again. See. Accessories. We have a cleaner, text view. You want to take a screenshot. This. Come, taking a screenshot of my PC. So there's literally nothing you want to do that Linux cannot give to you. See. Let's say I want to install a new tool entirely. I don't have, check here now. I don't have a Telegram app here, right? I want to install Telegram. Now let me go. I just have to come here and I'll simply do sudo apt install telegram hyphen desktop, and I'll hit my okay. Why enter? It's gonna take just very few minutes, and you can see how fast it is. And you know the sweet part, Linux does not do what your Windows do, whereby your Windows want to update and all of a sudden, you know, when your Windows is updated, you cannot do anything in your system. But I can be updating my system, guess what? And I'm also watching a movie. And it's updating in the background. Or I can also be upgrading my system, and guess what? I'm actually playing a game, the chess game, or I'm even having a class like I am with you. I'm having a class, I'm downloading something. You can see that. Now let's go check if we downloaded the Telegram. I'm using the Telegram here. So you can literally download more tools. It gives you that space to do whatsoever. Linux is actually very beautiful. Now setting up your lab. Let's continue. Sorry, I'm going to give you time. Just put on your rush. So setting up your lab. So we already did the VirtualBox, the engines that runs your virtual machines. Do you know on your VirtualBox you can actually install more than one operating system? It depends on the RAM of your PC and the ROM of your PC. You can actually install 2, 3 operating systems on that VirtualBox, and you're having these operating systems running and doing what you want. So here we downloaded the Ubuntu. That's the main operating system I had to install to use, which I showed you guys earlier. And I opened the VirtualBox, click new. You can save it any name of your choice. I saved mine as Linux, right? Select the Ubuntu file, follow the prompts, just like installing a game, and set up a strong password. But remember, my password I set was hello123, which was very a weak password. So we've done this already. Now coming over to the Linux security. So Linux is the super user operating system. Most of the world web servers and hacking tools run on it. To control it, you don't just click icons, you talk to it using the terminal. That's the black box with the blinking cursor. So you see it. Terminal. Terminal is super powerful. You can use the terminal to do a lot of things on this Linux. It's actually the most powerful tool. And then if you also check, most of these tools, there are most tools that when you're trying to use them, it takes you to the terminal. See, terminal. Why? Because the terminal is a very powerful tool on the Linux. Like it on terminal. Do you see that? What other tool again that I want to open? So there are some tools that are actually GUI. This one is actually a GUI tool. It's opening up, so it's starting Armitage. So if I come back here now, I want to open another tool. Betacap is also a terminal tool. You can see that. So there are several things. Linux is very powerful. That is why hackers prefer to use it when actually carrying out their attacks. They can't just stay on any operating. I'm not saying your Windows is not safe, right? Windows is actually safe, probably to some extent, but you can't compare it to Linux because Windows is generally used by a lot of persons. So hackers will always use that as victims for people because setting bets on Windows actually works very well for people. But on Linux, not everybody uses Linux. Just very few, like a 1% that uses Linux, right? But if you're going to go into cybersecurity, you literally have to. Linux has to be like one of your go-to guy. It has to be one of your go-to guy. Just like in the pharmacy, in the medical, it's always drugs, right? Drugs, medication, injections, of course. Same way too. Linux is actually one of your super strengths. See, that's why it's called the super user. Super user, not just any random user or guest user. Nah, super user operating system. Okay. Next thing we have here is opening the secret radio. So inside your VirtualBox machine, press Ctrl plus Alternate plus T. This opens the terminal. Think of this as a direct line to the computer's brain. Okay, so we're going to open the VirtualBox again and see what the Ubuntu terminal looks like. Okay, click on new. I'm going to save mine as Linux. Remember, on my eyes, so I'm going to just choose my Ubuntu. Everything gets set. Next, I'm going to set up. I'm going to set a big password here, please. Oh yeah. Hello, 123 CC. That is good. Next thing I'm going to do is remember using 3 gig, using 2 CPU. This is already on 25. I can try to probably make it like 50 gig, right? And okay. User VirtualBox VMS. Okay. So this is it. Everything is doing. What does it have to do? Set my password again. Sorry. It's a mistake. Hello. So it's coming up. Try and install. I'm clicking enter for try and install. So it's loading up my Ubuntu. Yes, this is the process. Let's give it some time to come up. So guys also see what the terminal inside the Ubuntu looks like. Okay, so while that is loading, let's just continue. Remember, we're supposed to check the terminal. So Linux has a built-in shield called the UFW, which is uncomplicated firewall. So by default, it's always asleep, but we're going to wake it up. I'm going to show you how to turn on your firewall on Linux, right? Remember, your Windows Defender is actually your firewall on Windows. So I'm going to show you how to turn on this UFW on Linux. Check if it's awake. Type this and hit enter. Sudo UFW status. Sudo stands for super user do. It's like saying, I have my parents' permission to do this, so do it for me. So we can literally follow through the terminal, like we said. Sudo UFW. So we're checking the status. It says inactive. You can see. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to turn this on now. Enable. Now you check status is active now. Then let me show you let me show you the firewall. So see it also has a GUI, but it's best to always operate your Linux with your terminal. So see, this is it. Incoming deny, outgoing allow, meaning don't let any just thing to come inside my system. Deny anything you see that is suspicious, block it from me. I don't want it. I don't need it. Right? Then as for outgoing, yes, I can send out, but I don't want anything to come to me. So you see, an uncompleted way to manage your firewall, powered by it's easy, simple, nice, and useful. So you see the shield, firewall as super user. So that's for the Linux firewall. There are other types of firewalls too. We have the IPs. Now let's see who is knocking at the door. So in networking, computers talk through, just like saying in your house, you have your room door, you have your kitchen door, you have the main door, you have the gate, you have the back door, right? Now in networking, computers talk through ports. Imagine your computer is a big hotel, a very big hotel. It has about 5,535 doors, like a lot of that. Now you want most of these doors locked because if all the doors are open, anybody can creep in, can walk in, and nobody knows, especially when there's no camera to like monitor. Do you understand? Now to see your open doors, we're going to type this command. It shows us which doors are open and listening for visitors. If you see a door open that you don't recognize, a hacker might be using it. Now let's use the command and see. Anyway, let me check this. Okay, so this is on. The Ubuntu is done loading up. Okay, while that is, it's taking a while to load up. I'm supposed to close this so that we can open all applications and then search for the terminal. So we're going to just head on to typing this right SSS hyphen TULPN. So now you can see I'm going to make this bigger. So see the ports. Asterisk tells you that they are actually closed. And now see the processes they are running. So basically saying that we are just using those here, right? These are the door numbers. Instead of saying kitchen door, toilet door, this is 40765, 412, 98. These are the plenty numerous doors. And these doors, look at the addresses. Just like saying to go to my toilet, my door, right? You have to go to the parlor. By your right hand side, it's my room. And then when you enter my room, the right hand side is my toilet door. And you enter my toilet. So that is it. Oh, the Ubuntu is taking quite a longer time than expected, which is not supposed to be. And of course, one of the best ways to stay safe is to make sure your software is brand new. Like I said, okay, updating your applications, your operating system on a regular is actually very beautiful. Very beautiful in the sense that hackers are always working on a timely basis, always back and forth working, right? So for these organizations that create your applications, your system operating your laptop operating system, or maybe your phone operating system. So this is what they do. This is what they do. They make this is what they do. For the fact that your applications are actually on, like so the idea for this for the idea for you to update your system the idea for you to update your system is because these organizations that actually create your operating systems, right? From time to time, they check these applications they create. They check this operating system they give out to users, right? If there's any hacker trying to break in, or when they find loopholes, they open. When they find they try to patch it up, but when they patch it up at their end, they cannot come to everybody's house and start knocking. Hi, IB, please can you update your system? Let us update your system for you. Go to the next door. Hello, Samuel, please can you update your system? Hello, LCI, please can you update your system? No, they cannot be going to everybody's door. So what they do, they push it virtually. You on your end now connect to a network and simply go to your app store or your play store and update, right? Or if it's on your system or your Windows system, you can always update your operating system there. It helps you keep your system up to date, whereby you're actually welcoming new security settings to actually help you stay safe. So for Windows, for Linux rather, it's very easy. We just have to do sudo app update, sudo app upgrade, and it's not going to shut us out like your Linux would do, like your Windows would do. It's just simply going to do sudo app update, and this is it. Like I told you, I can be updating on my system and I'm doing something else. And I also want to upgrade. See, I can be upgrading also, and I'm having a class with you. It's updating, it's not shutting me out. See, so we'll leave that to go on. Sorry, almost done. So we've talked about your MFA, right? Why your Linux VM updates. secure your real life digital identity, download an authenticator app, ask an adult to help you download Google Authenticator, or you can do it on your phone. So you have your Google Authenticator app on your Play Store, or your Huawei lifestyle Play Store, right? And then you can always do all of that. I told you, go to your settings on security, set up your recovery email, set up your recovery phone number, set up 2FA also. All of this helps you stay safer. The QR code trick. Go to your favorite game or email settings, find security, and click enable 2FA. So sometimes, like what I was trying to do earlier, but it didn't work on my end, I use passkey. Passkey in the sense that I just have to use my phone on my system and scan the QR code, it pops up for me, and then I'm able to scan my face to let the account know that okay, it's me, I'm the real user. So look at it. Your computer will show a weird square with the QR code. You can scan it with your phone, right? Or use the magic number. That's the code, the 6-digit code that your Google Authenticator app gets to show you. Hackers cannot easily guess that because maybe they're able to guess that. How about the mail code, or the phone number code, or even your main password? Can they also guess your face for passkeys? No. So that way you're actually making it a bit difficult. If a hacker wants to go in, a very professional hacker wants to go in, he will have to disable all of these things. And that's when you give a loophole, when you give a vulnerability to him to get in. Because the first thing a hacker does as soon as he gets on the system is to shut down those security settings so they don't block him or kick him out or even stress him out because he doesn't know most of your password, he doesn't know how you save most of the codes. Do you understand? Now, when we talk about the Windows security, right? Think of Windows as a giant mansion with many doors and windows. By default, some of these doors are unlocked. So hardening in this process is walking through that mansion and locking every single door. Of course, in the night when you want to sleep, because you want to stay safe, right? In the night when you're sleeping, what do? You shut your windows, you shut your doors. Sometimes you even go as far as shutting your lights. You lock every door and make sure that okay, so in case you hear any movement, you know that oh, somebody has come in. Somebody's in the kitchen. Oh, somebody's in my toilet. Oh, who is that? Do you understand? Now we have the Windows update, like I said earlier. So hackers always go to look for cracks, and Microsoft gets to fix this crack with updates. So if you don't update, you don't have this security. You don't have this Windows armor on you. So now you click the start button on your system. You can always go to your settings to find your updates and check for updates. If there are things you need to update, probably applications, you can always update them individually. And if it's operating system that needs to be updated too, please, you have to update that operating system. If Windows asks you to restart to finish an update, do it immediately, don't wait. Like I told you, my system is actually upgrading. You can see, but it's not shutting me out like your Windows would. And I'm literally multitasking at the same time. So now, SOC 2 says waking up the guard dogs, your Windows security. So this is your Windows Defender, right? That's its own firewall, its own security. Sometimes it's turned off, which is not supposed to be. You go to your settings, type your Windows security there, you look for viruses protection. You also make sure it's turned on, tick it green. So make sure there's a green check mark. And also you go to the firewall part and network protection. You ensure that these things are also on. Your firewall has to be on. Most of these settings on your system, sometimes you feel like, oh, they're making me not use my system. But they're actually protecting it to a large extent because they're asking you for permission before any application uses a particular tool on that system. That is the security, not just allowing every app to just have access to you. No. These actually two things that actually keep you safe. As I like to say, cybersecurity is a practice. What practice? It's not something you just do one time and leave. It's a practice, a way of life, something you do always, back to back. You understand? And what are you protecting? It's a practice of staying safe, protecting against what? Unauthorized access. You're protecting against unauthorized access. You don't want to just break in. And you're also trying to protect yourself and also ensuring CIA. In cybersecurity is something called CIA. CIA simply means confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So confidentiality there simply means trust. I there means integrity, meaning verifying or checking through that an information has not been modified, right? And then A means storage, availability, that's storage for future use. Take, for example, the example I gave, the story I told about Samuel and IB, right? Now, IB, Samuel trusted that the message he sent to IB was just between the two of them. But in a situation whereby that message was intercepted, like, as IB got a different message than the one Sammy sent, right? Because Sammy still had that information on his phone, he was able to meet that up and show her proof that, see, imagine if he had deleted that message, what is he going to tell IB? He'll look like a liar because there's no way he's going to explain himself. So you see why CIA, why cybersecurity is very important. And then this is the most important step. Most people use their computer as admin, which is not very right. If a hacker gets into that king's account, that admin, they can literally do anything like you. So you see why you must always use your guest key, guest accounts. You mustn't use your admin for most things. Most things you want to do, you have to use it outside using a guest account so that if anything happens there, it happens there. It doesn't really have access to that operating system. Now you can create a standard user account for your daily use. Maybe if you're a gamer or you're using your PC for homeworks, projects, browsing back to back, research. You can always use a guest account for all of them, not your main account. Only use your admin account when you need to install new things, right? And you have to make sure that if you're going to install anything or download anything, always use the verified sources. Go through verified sources. Your Windows has an app store where you can actually download whatsoever, right? Ubuntu has that also. Your apps, your phone, your Android, iPhones, they have your Play Store, your App Store. Don't get me doing, please send me this application. You never can tell if the application this other person has is infected. The moment you get it, you also get, it's just like saying you've expanded the reach of that hacker. Do you understand? And of course, you'll be a victim too. So UAC, user control, when a box pops up asking, do you want to allow this app? Make sure you read it carefully. Don't just give access, allow any application. Sorry, I'm rounding up already.
Okay, no, not even that. I just want to call your attention. I wanted to say something. Sorry for cutting you short. Please, everyone, there is attendance leak already in the chat. Please kindly fill it. Thank you.
Okay.
You can
So
continue, ma'am. Sorry for cutting you short.
no problem. So like I said, for every app that pop up, every warning or pop-up image you see on your system, right? Always read it. Don't just say, okay, yes, give access. Yes, give access. Give admin access. Yes. No, no, no. Always try to read it to know because sometimes hackers could actually send most of these pop-up messages to you in disguise. And the moment you click on it, you're giving that hacker access. So if you don't click anything, if you didn't click anything and that box pops up, click no. Because that's a hacker trying to sneak in. Now, of course, throw away the junk. Every app you have is a potential secret door for a hacker. Yes, a hacker could actually use Facebook to get to you, probably through your chats or probably through videos or pictures you're sharing with strangers you barely even know. Yes, a hacker can use that medium to get to you. This is why you must always be careful. If you don't use it, any app you don't use, delete it. Go to settings, your apps, install apps, uninstall it, delete it. Games, your tools you haven't touched in a long while, you're not going to also use them. When you want them, you can always install them back. Okay? So this shrinks your attack surface. Also, because if a hacker gets to break into your device and this hacker says that, oh, you have 8,000 pictures or you have 10,000 pictures, you have 500 videos, oh, you have a lot of files on this system. Wow, nice, nice. You have beautiful things here. Guess what he's going to do? He's not going to encrypt all of them, or he's going to actually take copies of these things. And imagine if you have private files amongst this thing. It's crazy. That's why you must always learn to back up. Back up to your cloud. Back up your files to your cloud. There's actually a firewall on your cloud which actually helps you to a large extent. And then aside backing up, as soon as you back up to your cloud, please remove all those apps you know you're not using on your system, on your phone, for your own safety, so that even if one day mistakenly you get hacked, this device is just as empty as there's no important thing there, and the hacker just can be like, oh, wrong target. There's nothing here. The highest they may want to do is to use you now as a base for others. Okay. And the next thing says lock the chest, your BitLocker. If someone physically steals your laptop, they can usually pull out the hard drive and read your files, right? But now, if that hard drive is encrypted, if it's locked, The BitLocker scrambles your files, so only you can read them. Just like I said, here you can see this drive here is actually encrypted, right? I cannot have access to it. Anybody that just hops on this system, I cannot have access to it. So on your settings, you can always, on your Windows settings, you can always type BitLocker there, right? You see it on. You can always turn it on. Sometimes it asks you for a code or a key, best known between you and that system. So that even if somebody else, like I said, I was able to access my friend's laptop when she took that funny picture of me sleeping in class, right? I was able to access it because she didn't have a BitLocker. Her hard drive was not locked. If hard drive was locked, I wouldn't have been able to access it. So you see, your password is not enough. Your password is not enough. So this will give you a recovery key. Write down this down on a piece of paper and hide it. If you lose this key and forget your password, you can't get your files back. And the next thing, of course, anti-ransomware shield. Windows has a secret shield against ransomware. Remember the lock and pay, right? In Windows security, you can always go to virus and threats protection, scroll down to ransomware protection, and click manage ransomware protection, which in turn turns this on. Now, even if a weird virus tries to change your documents, Windows will block it. Do you understand? So these are security settings you need to set up. And then, of course, you have to be very careful of what you click. Careful of what you click, careful where you download things, always update your system, set up your MFA, and that way you can actually stay safe to a very large extent. Don't forget how to also create your strong password. So you're not go creating any simple password that has already been cracked before. You're just making it very easy for a hacker. Okay, so that'll be all for now. I'll take questions now. Meanwhile, before I take questions, okay, let me take questions before asking if we are on the same page. I'm going to scroll from the beginning to take all questions. Okay, so the first question here says, my session before you join the meeting. Okay, no problem.
Ma'am, what did you just say?
So sorry, can I get your questions?
Okay, questions. Okay. There are some questions here in the chat. Let me try and scroll. I think they were asking questions that you eventually answered some because somebody was asking about. I'm coming. I'm trying to scroll. Okay, I think the first question that was here in the chat was coming. Somebody was asking that why Ubuntu and not Kali Linux, but we already answered in the chat.
Okay.
Then another person asked again. The first question was The first question was, does Windows Defender protect the info in this case, or is it limited? When you were explaining Wireshark about HTTPS, that was when that person has this particular question. The person is Umar Zidali from Turkey. He said, does Windows Defender protect the info in this case, or is limited? So I don't know if you can go back. The question was asked when you were explaining how to know if whatever website you are going to is secure or not. That was when the person asked this question.
Okay. So when you actually turn on your Windows Defender actually acts as a firewall on your network, meaning it's actually preventing anybody outside, probably if you're on the same network as somebody else, right? It's preventing malicious or suspicious let's say malicious data packets coming into your system. Do you understand? It's just like saying, even if I have a gate on my compound, is and I have a gate, I still have a door. And aside my house door, my front house door, right? You can't just come inside my room. My room also has its own door. That's like levels of security. So when you actually use a Wireshark just sniffs on the network. Just like you trying to check yourself also. Do you understand? You want to keep track of everything. You want to know what's happening. I could actually turn on my system and turn on my, I can give you my PC. That way, I'm able to track and see everything on the network. Which side did you open? Which side did you not open? What did you do? What information? Who is communicating with my system and who is not communicating with my system? Okay. Human, is that clear?
I don't know. Is human still here? Please, is that clear enough? Oh, jeez.
Okay, yeah, is there? Okay.
Is it there? As is not responding. Has he responded?
You can mix yourself.
Umar, please unmute yourself and let us know if our explanation is clear enough for you. Thank you. Okay, he responded already. He said yes. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Another question that Miss Favor, he responded already. He said
Okay.
yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Um, have you unmuted him? Please unmute him. Another question we have was the Ubuntu and Kali Linux. So we already told them that is of the same family. I'm coming. Let me scroll to where someone okay, somebody said according to the required tools, Kali Linux was listed not Ubuntu. Are they the same or is there any difference? So we answered from this end. We said Ubuntu is part of Linux family. We still have okay, we promised to cover a section for them to tell them how to go about it. Because somebody was asking that, can what this you've been doing, can it be done on Windows too? And we said that we are going to cover a section for them that is a short tutorial on YouTube. We'll post it on our YouTube page, how that they will be able to know how they can install all of this that you've taught us today on their Windows PC too.
Exactly. You
So
can
everyone that is here, okay, sorry, Miss Favor, go on. I'll address everyone later. Please go on.
Okay. So I was saying that you can actually install a virtual machine on your Windows. And on that virtual machine, you can also install maybe any of the Linux flavors, maybe Ubuntu or Kali or Parrot or Debian, whichever Linux flavor. You can always install them there. And on Windows, it's even more easier. You can actually go to I think your Windows store, right, to download it there, or probably you can use a tutorial.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I hope we are all cleared on that now. Thank you very much, Miss Favor.
Thank you.
Okay. Um, Thank you, Miss Favor. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for this beautiful session. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. We are very, very grateful. On behalf of everyone, I'm saying thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We look forward to more collaborations. We look forward to more collaborations. Thank you so much. God bless you. Everyone, thank you for attending. Thank you for joining the class. We are grateful, and I hope we have all learned one or two. The class will be is recorded already, so it will be posted, not today, not today actually, but it will be posted so we can go back to it. We promised already to do a yeah, a window PC version for the applications that was downloaded today. So those of us that are here to mark I'm coming, I'm trying to see something. Okay. Those of us that are here to mark the attendance, please kindly do, because it is a free class. So it's a free class and some things are put in place to make us take all of these things serious. Our attendance is very key. Our attendance, not just attendance by just coming, and we need proof of that attendance. If you have clicked on the attendance form, you see all of the information that's there. So our attendance is very key. Our participation is very key, and I am grateful that today the class was interactive because I was going through the chats and I could see that people were paying attention. So thank you everyone for today. God
I think there's,
bless you.
sorry, I think
Okay,
there's something here.
Miss Favor, you were saying something.
Yes, I said I think there's some questions here. Samuel.
Okay, questions. Let me see.
He said, I noticed that during the password assessment, The processing looked very complex, almost like rocket science. Could you please break down the process step by step so we can understand what is happening behind the scenes? So I think you mean when I opened the word list that contains leaked password. Am I right, Samuel?
Mr. Samuel, please unmute yourself so you can respond to her. Can you unmute?
Hello, Samuel. Do you mean when I was actually showing the leaked passwords?
Yes, actually.
Okay. So this is it. It's just me opening my terminal, right? So it's just like saying I'm opening folders upon folders in order to find it, because this word list actually comes with your Linux. For every Linux distribution you install, you download, this word list is always there, because remember, Linux is actually a hacker's operating system, right? So it's always there because it aids them to actually carry out their attacks. Sometimes if that password does not work, you can always download more word lists to add to it. But this particular RockU word list actually carries over 14 million leaked passwords, broken passwords before now. And sometimes when you update your system and upgrade your system, guess what? It automatically updates for you. Do you understand? Is it clear now?
Mr. Samuel, is it clear now?
I can still go back to the process if that's what you want. Okay, the upgrade is complete. Let me go back to the process. So I simply did a cd dot dot the second time again. You can see this sign changed to home and home changed to just a slash. The next thing I did was ls, which is lists. I want to see everything inside here. Now I'm going to usr, so I'm simply going to do a cd usr, hit enter. If I list again to see what's here, I have to go to share. So I'm doing a cd share, hit enter. I'm listing again to see the files here. And of course, remember, it's the word list that is my target. So I simply just do a cd word list. And if I list, now I'm able to see all of the word lists. Now, if I want to open this rocku.txt, the command for it is cat. I'm going to do cat rocku.txt. Hit enter, and all of the passwords are popping and popping. It's going to take a little while. So the next question he said is, in real world cybersecurity practice, how do professionals prevent attackers from performing the same kind of password assessment on live systems? So if you set up a strong password, periodically going to update your password. Like I said, 3 months, 6 months, go change your password, right? That way you can stay safe. And of course, remember the way to create your password. Don't just create Samuel 125 $sign. Scattered words, consonants that do not make up anything, uppercase, lowercase, numbers and symbols, right? Periodically also going to change that password. And aside you going to change that password too, it's also best to also set up an MFA, multi-factor authentication, connecting to your email, to your phone number, to an authenticator app, all for your own safety. Do you understand? Then the third question he said here is, based on the demonstration we saw, what are the most effective ways individuals and organizations can create passwords that are resistant to such attacks? Like I mentioned, how can you create passwords that are resistant to such attacks? Create a strong password. No password is safe. So you have to be able to create a strong password. And even after creating that strong password that you feel is very strong, you have to be changing it from time to time. Do you understand? You have to be changing it from time to time. That way, it's not easily guessed. Even if they're able to guess, the moment they are trying to break in and they're able to break in like a 50%, a 75%, at that moment you're changing your password. It's like you actually defiling all their efforts, right? Now they have to start afresh. And of course, that's why you have to also set up your email, connecting to your email. So even if after putting a password, oh yeah, they should go and guess, they should go and find, they're giving them second stage now, second stage hack to go and find your email code, third stage hack to find your phone code, and then fifth, one, two, three, fourth stage hack now to do what? Find the authenticator code in order to have access. And in some extra instances where you get to use passkeys, where you scan a QR code and then face ID before you have access to your accounts. All of this can actually help you stay resistant to password attacks. And he asked again, for beginners who want to understand the technical process behind password assessment, what foundational knowledge or tools should we start with? So sometimes when creating these 20 passwords that are strong, right, you may not be able to remember all of them. You can actually use password managers to store all of your password. But the bad thing there is that the good thing there is that if you're going to use a password manager, of course, the password manager can also be hacked, right? Not easily, but it can also be hacked. Passwords can be leaked from there. That's why it's best to always change your password periodically, just like changing the lock of your house, so that even if a robber, maybe when you're not around, the robber comes around your door, checks the door, takes a picture, and probably go to a lock house, like a lock vendor, to find that particular padlock, right? Even if they're able to find it, by the time they come back and want to carry out their attack, what happens? You've changed your door lock again. They can't really try to carry that attack. They have, just like you, sending them back and forth and all of that. And you might be lucky that hacker may just give up on you and move on to somebody else or something else. So Samuel, I hope you can hear me. Hope this answers you. So for password assessments, right, there are several tools. Linux actually offers you several tools for password. Look at password attacks. You can see them. There are several tools offline. You can see that online attacks too for password. Is it password profiling and word lists? You can see a lot of them. And these ones. So Linux actually, like I said, has an arsenal, like a toolbox. You can also install, probably you go on online, you're researching about this, and you're asked to install a tool. There's a tool the tutorial guy is actually using. You can always install that too, right? You can always install that tool on your system. Okay. So Samuel, is that all for now? Is it clear? Okay, somebody asked, Hassan asked, what can do to those that don't have laptop? They can always buy a laptop. There are specifications you should also look out for. You can always buy a laptop. At least an 8 gig RAM SSD PC, a 256 gig ROM SSD PC, 2.3 gigahertz processor speed, of course, a 64 bits, right? And then you can always get an i5, 7th, 8th gen, and all of that. And it's actually beautiful. It actually helps you run a Linux, helps you do whatever you want to do and carry out security practices.
Yes, thank you.
Sorry, Samuel, please, are you clear? I need a response. Okay.
I think you said yes, I do. I think it. Oh, is that response not recent?
Yes, it
My
is.
chat is.
No, this response was 11:25. Okay, yes, it is. Sorry, there's a different time here.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be off for now. Thank you very much for your time. I'm really sorry for the break in network earlier. Please.
Not at all. It's fine. It's understandable. Thank you very much, Miss Favor. Sincerely, we are very grateful for your time. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you.
So, thank you, everyone.